Hi, everybody. I'm Jazmine McFadden, owner and artist of Art of Jaz LLC. I have a boutique store in Southern Lyon, which is in Pineville, Matthews, North Carolina, where I sell my original art, coloring books, prints, all of my art products, as well as the things that are on my website. You can follow me at jmcfadden_art and visit my website, which is www.artofjazz.com. And my handle is the same on every platform: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, you name it. So check me out, follow me, send me a message, and I'm all about encouragement and empowerment of the Black woman and Black man.
Welcome to the Famously Local podcast. Local, not local, but famous from these parts. You are on the air with the hostess with the mostest, sharing the good news that you can use as we talk community awareness and keep you in the know. I am Angela McNeil Woods, aliasly known as that Law Hill Girl. And today, family, got another banger for you. Yes, we do. We have here in the shop artist, shop owner, Jazmine McFadden. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited. First podcast, you guys.
Oh man, I feel so privileged. I feel so I'm so spoiled, y'all.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you already know that. First of all, how have you been?
I've been good. I can't complain. The new year has been good to me.
You looking good?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Ever.
Yes, ma'am. Bold and beautiful.
Okay. Oh, we're gonna get into that bold and beautiful.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Wait on this artist going on. Again, y'all, artists and shop owners. So now I gotta ask you, are you a Carolinas baby?
I am not. So I am actually a New York baby. I was born and raised on Long Island, New York, and then spent time after college in New York City. So I am a Charlottean, I guess, by way of New York. New York will always be home, but I've been here for 10 years. So yeah, not a Carolina baby, but it's home for now.
Okay, good. Okay, because I was gonna say, so how did you end up here? So you just gave us the spiel.
Yeah.
Well, we welcome you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, honey. Now, so did you take up art in high school?
I did not. So that's where the homegrown multidisciplinary artist comes from. It just means that I'm homegrown in every way. I've self-taught myself painting, illustration, and anything that I do in the art space. So no, so self-taught.
Cool. Yeah. So that's in Jasmine's the beginning in her IG in the IG section of her Instagram page is homegrown, and so I wanted to find out what that meant. So you saying you were self-taught?
Self-taught. Wow. Yes, ma'am. And the homegrown is just my studio is in my home. So I used to say self-taught, but it's a way for me to be unique.
Yeah.
And I heard homegrown, I think in a song or read in a book somewhere, and I was like, I like that. And so I borrowed it. And so that's my new way of saying that I'm self-taught and that I'm homegrown as an artist in my own way.
Yeah. Okay. You know, we're from rural, honey. We love home.
Yes, ma'am.
That stuff. Okay. Now, how old do you think you were when you took interest in art?
Oh, since I was a child. So I grew up dancing ballet, tap, African jazz, hip hop.
Still do that?
In my own way and time. I don't take, professional classes. I would love to, but I haven't necessarily dedicated time to it. Okay. But I'm still good at it. I like to think, but I don't still do it. But yeah, my godmother.
Have a dance routine?
No. No.
I was gonna say you got a dance routine now.
Now, if I'm out and a good song comes on, I could put something together. But I don't have a formal routine.
Okay, so it's all right. I know you could do something. Yeah. Now, were there any artists in your family outside of you?
Not formally, not that I know of. No.
So nobody was scribbling around the house.
Actually, I lied. My older cousin Rachel, she would babysit, or we would be at the same, aunt's house, and I would follow her around and say, "Teach me how to do this." She would draw Bugs Bunny, and I would drive her crazy because I wanted to learn every time I was with her. So yeah, I did have a artist in the family, and then a few other people that are into music and stuff. But as far as the drawing, I drove her crazy to teach me stuff.
so how do they feel about you doing it now?
Oh, they love it. Everybody supports it, friends and family. And so for some people that knew that I had an artistry bone in me, it didn't come as a surprise. And to others, it's excitement behind it being the surprise that, wow, she's really good at this and she loves it. And now she's doing it full time. So, yeah.
That's good. Now, so we met you at the Mercantile here in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and you and we also met Tanisha.
Yep.
Malaysian Lights.
Yes.
And
that's my
you
girl.
ladies, that was Black History Month, right?
It was a Black History Month Makers Market. Yeah, 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's been that long?
It has. So I've done it last year too, but I think the year before was the biggest one.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Last year.
Okay.
Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful art. Just we're gonna get
Thank
it to
you.
guys. Now, so do you have any like art influences though? Anyone that you like or follow?
Yeah, so locally, at least Charlotte wise, I love Kaylin Renee. Love her art, her concepts, but also her ability to find funding. Like she's done grants, so she's been an inspiration to me. Just watching and filling out forms and filling out grants to find funding and ways to support my art business. I love Whitney Austin. She's also big and local in Charlotte. Amazing energy. And then other artists that I like that are not local. Art by Whack, somebody that I follow on social media. And then one of my, favorite artists who influenced just loving art and being in museums and art galleries and experiencing it is Elizabeth Catlett, who was a sculptor, a Mexican American sculptor, a woman who took an unconventional route to her art and being recognized in that way. And so I loved her story. And the first time that I saw her art was in college at the Hampton University Art Museum or Art Gallery that is there local on Hampton's campus. So that was my first experience of her art and really falling in love with being a female who's an artist, being a minority who's an artist. So yeah, I can go down the list. I mean, there's a bunch, but I'm gonna save that.
Okay. So when did you know that you were on something? Like, what was the light?
Oh, I think I knew I was on to something after I painted my first like official art piece, Sunkissed Soul. That is actually Sunkissed Soul. That was my first piece. It's 18 by 24 acrylic piece of art that I painted in 2017, and it was the first time that I had stepped out of my comfort zone and shared it on social media. And I think the response that I got, not that the validation really mattered, but the response and people saying like, "Oh, I didn't know you can paint." Those that knew me, I didn't know you can draw, and this is beautiful. And then strangers that I didn't know drawing, being drawn to that post, and then I just kept painting and kept painting more, and posting more, and that I think is what kind of began the uptick. And then as far as turning it into something in a business and full time, that came out of the pandemic and realizing like, do I want to be in corporate the rest of my life? I've always known from day one of corporate that I wanted to do something in the art space. I thought I was going to be a talent manager or something of that like, and plenty of friends can attest to that conversation. But I think the COVID during that time that really opened my eyes to what was possible, what I can do, and just taking the leap of faith because I felt like it was now or never. Well, it's better late than never, but for me, it was now or never. And if the worst that could happen is it doesn't work out, I have a skill set. I can always go back if I want to or need to. I think there were a number of moments and points that kind of sparked knowing like this was the path. And I think it's ever changing too. So.
Ever changing. Now, so Sunkissed Soul, do you still have the original?
Oh yeah, that was not going anywhere. Okay, so the first, funny enough, the first one that I painted in 2017, I still have that. It is not for sale, never will be. But then 3 years later, I painted a new version of it, a much bigger version, just to see how my skills had evolved. And that one is eventually for sale. Myself and hubby, we always say that's my $10 million piece. So once I make it, that's going to be the piece that we hold on to, and it's not going nowhere until it sells for 10 million. And so that's big dreams, and I think it's attainable. But for now, it's on display in my home. So for those that know me or come to visit, they can see that and enjoy it. But I don't take it out. I don't display it anywhere. It's going to be one of those, auction pieces because the big day's coming soon.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Oh, yes.
I'm claiming it.
Yes, ma'am. But I've heard so many artists talk about the fact that has been a resentment when they sell their original. And I get it. So, yeah, Hold on to your
I'm
baby.
holding on
Hold
to
on to
it.
it. Wow. Now, is this something that you've always wanted to do? Once you got into space of it, that like in your soul.
I think painting and creating was in my soul. I think adding the business aspect to it has been the contingent point. It's been fun,
Yeah.
but there were moments where the business side took a little fun out of it, and so I have had to over time, and each season it changes. I've had to figure out how to balance the two.
Yeah.
Because there are days where you can be so focused on the administrative piece and the financial piece of business that you forget you haven't created in a week or two. And sometimes it could be even longer than that. So, it's just remembering to balance those two things. And so it's definitely in my soul, it's my passion. And now the art business side of things is becoming my passion because I'm becoming good at it. I'm learning, I'm researching and becoming good at it.
Yeah. Well, now, so I want us to get into more of your story.
Okay.
So tell us briefly about your art boutique.
Sure. So Art of Jaz at Southern Lion is a boutique space that I sell my original art pieces, some of my original art pieces and art merchandise and collectibles, such as the calendar, some of the children's coloring books that I've illustrated, prints, bags such as the one you see here, tumblers, notebooks. So it's everything Art of Jaz that you can get on my website, but in person. So people can actually see what they're buying and really evolve themselves in the artwork there. So it's been a beautiful experience to be in that space. Tumblers, hot and cold tumblers. So they're 20 ounce. They come with straws. And so, we're in the age of Stanley Cups. Well, you can get an Art of Jaz cup for a fraction of the price, and it's technically a collectible because it has art on it. So that's at least how I look at it.
That's smart.
Yeah,
that's a good way to look at it. You've got some really good things going on. Tell me about this bag. So what do you call that?
So that is technically called a weekender. So you can really carry it pretty much anywhere. It's a canvas material, so it can be washed. The image won't fade. It has canvas on the inside, and so with that, you can carry any products. You can take it to the beach. You can travel with it. Now there is not a zipper. I do have some new stuff coming out soon to alleviate that. This one will still be available. But yeah, it's just your typical weekender. So it's something that you can fit a bunch of stuff in if you want to, or just about nothing if you just want to carry it because it looks good with your outfit or for the day.
I love that color.
Yeah, thank you. So that particular one just comes in the cognac color. That's the color I call it. Yeah, but I have other images that are on the same type of bag in different colors. So there's one that has affirmation words called She Is with another illustration set, and there's another one with a praying woman on it. So there's a variety on the website and in store.
Okay, website and store. Give them your website.
So the website is www.artofjaz.com. So art, ARTOFJAZ1Z.com.
Now, so we're talking merch. So we've got sweatshirts.
Yes, ma'am. We have crew necks and t-shirts.
Okay. Okay. Different colors too.
Different colors. So this one comes in white, black, like a really bright, fun orange, pink. Say again. Yep. So this comes from this original piece, Azora Reflections, which is done by hand from oil pastels. So something I just experimented last October in random moments sitting on the couch, and then that turned into, ooh, this is fun. So I created a bunch of other pieces doing that. Again, that's the multi-disciplinary piece of my artistry, that I'm not siloed to just painting, with acrylic or oil, but I can also do oil pastels or illustrate things using the iPad. So yeah, this sweater, amongst other apparel, come from the various different artworks that I've created over the years.
That is some good stuff. Oh my goodness. Y'all go ahead and get your checkbooks out. Do they still do checkbooks?
I don't know. But we take all forms of payment, okay? Yes, ma'am.
Cash App too.
Cash App, we do.
Zelle?
Zelle, if necessary. Cash App, if necessary, but there's a formal payment system. But also, we break up payments too. So we got it all. We got Afterpay, you name it. It works for whatever you need.
So how do you like your new home? I mean, over at Southern Line.
I actually really love it. The management is great. The staff is great. The merchants, my neighboring merchants, all the merchants in the store are really great. But mostly it's a learning experience. My first time in retail. It's taking business to the next level, and I think preparing me for the next level as well. And so I've made mistakes. I've done things great. But most importantly, I'm learning. And it's been a great experience. I truly can't complain. but I'm also learning customer behavior too, and determining, what do people like, what kind of products do they like, and how can I, provide stuff that people actually want to purchase from a collectible perspective, while also staying authentic to myself as an artist. So I love it. I can't complain.
That's a great way to look at it too. What people need, because I'm a bag lady, and I mean bag in the worst way. Like you should have one or two, but I be having three and four. And
Hey,
so if I can get, I'm gonna have
let me
so I
know.
can kind of.
And I also have these little accessory pouches. You can put makeup, you can put pens, you can put markers. So I have that as well. But creating and putting my art on the bag, that came from a customer feedback that says, "Do you sell bags?" No, but I can. give me your contact information, and I'll let you know when the bags are available in store and on the website.
I bet you they would thrill.
Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, she's bought me out at least this past week in accessory pouches at the store. So it's a great product, to say the least.
So you do work with oils, watercolors.
Watercolor. I've not done watercolor. Well, yes, I've done watercolor on paper, but also learning digital painting on the iPad. That has been really fun, which is a lot of my newer artworks. And then acrylics. But it's all, to me, it's all the same. The iPad is a little different because you have to learn to maneuver the pen and the paint brushes. But again, it's a way to teach yourself, and all you have to do is practice, and eventually you'll get it. So that's what I love about it.
Educating the younger ones that are out there and listening right now.
I will. I sure will. Maybe I'll start sharing some of those practices on YouTube, like recording the process and stuff. I think that would be fun. That'll be out of my comfort zone.
No,
it will, but it's a good thing. I got to step out.
Okay.
Got to step out.
Now, so do you buy your canvas material in bulk, or?
It depends. So usually I buy as I need, but I have a lot of canvases, so I typically go to Michael's or Jerry's Artorama, which there's one located in Charlotte on South Boulevard, I believe it is. But they sell much bigger canvases, which is something that I want to get into. And so usually I'll buy based on, like, if there's a sale going on, I'll buy I wouldn't say a bulk, but a good number, and then I don't have to necessarily shop unless I have a custom piece for someone that wants a particular size, or I have a painting that I want to do that's a certain size. So I wouldn't say bulk, but I usually focus on the sales at the stores and get as many as I think I need for the point in time in different sizes, then go from there.
Now, so when you talk about what you've learned, because you practice, what are you doing to continue your art skills? Like, do you have like an allotted time that you practice, or a certain time, a certain day of the week, or is this on the whim?
So it's a little both. Okay. It's definitely on the whim, because it is full time. I have the ability to kind of do it when and whenever I want. But I have learned, again, from the business aspect of things, that I do have to schedule time if I want to create and truly enjoy it without feeling like I have to go to the next thing. And so I will say I do need to do a better job at scheduling time to create. I think right now, at least the past 5 months, I've been focused on custom pieces. So I haven't necessarily, outside of the iPad, created anything for myself, but the iPad has allowed me to create faster and to learn something new at the same time and share it with the world. So a little bit of both, on the whim and scheduled time. Yeah, so there are days where I don't create at all because I'm doing admin and I have to set that time aside. And then there are days where I don't do any business at all and I just create.
So even though you're self-taught, had you worked under anyone else before professionally, or you just?
I have not, no. Wow. I think from the business side, I have different mentors, including my fiance, who is a business owner himself. So he provides a lot of insight.
What's his name?
From the business. His name is Thomas.
Hey, Thomas.
Hey, Thomas. Hey, babe. He provides a lot of insight. Sometimes I don't like it because it's not what I want it to be, and then but I still take it away, and it's really good advice that I need. And then I learned from different podcasts, different speakers. I tried to engage myself, and I recently joined or got accepted to the Women's Entrepreneurial Milestone Circle program with the NASDAQ Center that's sponsored through Wells Fargo. So that's another like accountability setting that I'm able to learn from other business owners or new business owners, and get those different resources that are necessary to continue to grow.
That's really good. Yeah. That's really good. I'm excited for you. So now your experiences with pop-ups or markets, was that some of your motivation that moved you into getting your own space?
I think so. It's prepared me. I would say that. I wouldn't say that it motivated me. No, it did. It did because I enjoy doing the pop ups and the market and vendor spaces, but there's so much preparation that goes into it that sometimes it can be very tiring.
Yeah.
And so it has motivated me to shift to a more permanent space like the boutique space in Southern Line because I can place my products, refill inventory where necessary, and not do as many vendor pop-ups. Now the year has just started and I haven't done any yet. And I think, midway point, maybe June, I'll reassess and determine if it's something that I miss doing. Because you get that customer engagement, like meeting you all, that I might not necessarily get at Southern Lion. But I also try to, once a month, go hang out at my booth at Southern Lion and still get that customer facing. So it's kind of like the vendor experience, but not so much. But I want to focus on bigger vendor experiences. So maybe next year doing like Essence Festival, where there's a huge scale. And I think Southern Lion's um, preparing me for that. But having my own space has always been a desire. In the next couple of years, I have an idea for a space that is more mobile that I want to, eventually obtain. And so that is kind of like the one of the goals. I won't say end goal because I'm always evolving and there's always something new. But yeah, so it's a little bit of both. It has influenced, having my own store front space, and it also has not been an influence in that way.
So you're full time.
Yes.
Okay. Now, so what were you doing before owning your shop?
So I was an internal auditor for Bank of America, and then prior to that, a financial statement auditor for one of the big four accounting firms. So the total, completely different side of my brain. But I still had the creativity. When I wasn't working, I was doing something creative, whether it was visiting art gallery, supporting a friend in the creative space, and then of course doing art part time until I took it full time.
So you love Anthony O'Neill like we do
too. Okay.
Yeah. So you think you can come and teach us finance class?
So my fiance can. I can teach you processes and setting up, how to organize your business, and then from the financial advising side and handling finances. Just a little plug. I can connect you guys with him. That is his gig. I mean, I do a pretty good job at managing my finances, but he's the guru. He's the go-to. Okay. So little shameless plug.
Now, so you do commission work.
I do. Yes.
Okay. Now, you won visual artist through Creatively Made. Tell us about that experience.
So Creatively Made, I guess just a quick background, Creatively Made is a platform for artists of all kinds, whether you're an illustrator, a painter, or any type of artisan. You're able to submit works on there, create a profile similar to Facebook or social media, but it's really for your art. How I found Creatively Made, I was searching for grants. And I don't think they do the grant program anymore. I think I actually was the last grantee to win. I think they're reshaping the landscape for that. But I'm searching for grants, and they came up for grants for creatives. And so I just started posting. And essentially, you get people to vote on your artwork on a monthly basis. And so I just reached out to all my friends and family. I shared it on every social media network, and I just asked people to vote and shared, in a transparent manner. If I win this, I win, a $5,000 grant, which is huge, when you're bootstrapping your business from your own savings and stuff. So I still post on there, and I still look for different opportunities. It is also a platform where creators can find job opportunities for different companies, some as big as Nike. In the works, L'Oreal, you name it. So you can, some of the art that has been produced on some of the products that we see have come from creators that have found jobs through those platforms, amongst others. But that was my experience with Creatively. It was a really easy way and a fun way to win a grant. I didn't have to, apply with this formal application. I just created a profile and shared the art that I thought was amazing, which is everything that I do. And then had folks vote, and folks on the platform, other artists can vote too. And so that's how I won for, I think it was last October that I won that grant. So it was a good experience. Yeah. And the first grant that I won. So that was really awesome.
Congratulations to
Thank
you,
you.
Angie. I mean, you're just doing it real big.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Yes. Now, and so how did you and I don't know if I'm saying it right, Human Soul partner up to sell?
So, Human Soul is owned and operated by a former classmate from Hampton University,
Okay.
Mariah Lark, and she's doing that, I believe, full time now. After putting aside her corporate gig as well. But she reached out to me in November, December, and said, "Hey, I think we should collaborate." And so it's something that I've been wanting to do, that collaboration and partnership. So who better than a college classmate? And so we came together in the new year and started preparing for what we wanted the giveaway to look like. And it's a way to reach other people, to gain customers, but also to share what we're doing. And we intentionally planned the giveaway and the product partnership for March, because it is Women's History Month. And Human Soul is dedicated to, you know, empowering melanated women and self-care. And so she sells some shea butters, not shea butter, she sells body butters that eventually she'll continue to scale into other products. But it's an amazing giveaway. It's been really fun. It's only been 4 or 5 days so far that we've launched it. But my first true collaboration and partnership. And I love that it's a giveaway experience as opposed to, hey, we're selling this. And I think that'll lead to customers and sales, obviously.
Now, was it happenstance that you came up with these beautiful empowerment figures, or this was already in your?
It was happenstance, to be honest with you. Like I said, I started learning how to create on the iPad using Procreate. Taking classes, but using YouTube University, to learn how to use Procreate to download paintbrushes from existing artists that have created them in a digital space. And then I just started, the sketching piece is one thing, but adding the color is what I needed to learn. And so I just started adding color, and then it just became fun. I honestly had no intention of sharing them. Like I said, the iPad was a way of me still creating something for myself while I'm doing work for others without having to have a bunch of canvases sitting around and a bunch of paint. And then I started looking at them. I said, maybe I should share them. So the ones that I have out now are for women, but I'm also creating some artworks for men, because I always get black men that are like, well, what do you got for the guys? Right. Like, stay tuned, say less. I got you. More coming soon. And so this is the super fun. I'm in this super fun phase where I don't have to paint because I have another way that I can create. So it truly is happenstance.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gorgeous, man. And so, tell us about the self love kits. What does it include, or what did it include?
So it includes a calendar, which I showed you guys earlier. 12-month calendar, multiple affirmations on each page within the calendar. It includes a journal, a lined journal with one of the images from the calendar that you can, that someone can write their thoughts in, dump, whatever it is, plan. It includes a tumbler, the one that we were talking about, a hot and cold tumbler with straws.
All that comes with
Yes, ma'am. It includes an accessory pouch. I didn't bring one today, but it includes accessory pouch. It includes a puzzle as well. So some of the images, just about all of them, I also offer in a puzzle form. Those are extreme ways to.
Is that on your website?
It's on my website. It's in store as well.
Wow, okay.
But it's art therapy, and a lot of times as women, especially, we're always so busy. Especially as Black women, like we work 10 times as hard. We're doing a lot, and so it allows you to take a moment to step back and take time for yourself, but also do something that triggers your brain in a different way, in a creative way. And I always encourage, there's a note inside of the puzzles as well that encourages you to frame it, because now you have an art piece. So that's the fun part about it. Or some people they do it and then they take it apart. And then I also have a new coloring book coming out. But as well as the puzzle that's in there, there are 3 different versions of her body butters in there. So it's a full kit. A booklet that talks about her business and different empowerment images. This is in the self-care kit. And then there is, I believe that's it. That's in the self-care kit. But Mariah and I from Human Soul, we are talking about potentially doing a kit that we can both sell for
Yeah.
both of our businesses because we looked at it once it came together and we were like, oh,
Oh yes,
this is
ma'am.
fly.
Yes,
If I
ma'am.
saw this in the store, I'd buy
Oh,
it. You
it
know, I
is.
mean, it's a
Yeah.
full self-care kit and it's a full and women's empowerment kit.
Yeah.
So
You said Mariah.
Mariah Lark, yes.
Oh,
Hey girl.
yeah. You shouting me out big time. Now, okay, now, so on hypothetically speaking, so on the days that you don't feel like, painting, how do you motivate yourself
Um, there are days where I don't. I intentionally take rest days.
Okay, that's good.
And I used to feel bad about them, but now I've learned through other people that that's okay. We need those days to
Yes,
regroup
I'm learning that.
because we tend to overwork. Like, the past couple of weeks, I felt overwhelmed, and I realized like I haven't actually taken a day where I'm just resting and not doing anything. And then the days where I am not doing anything and I realize, okay, you need to get up and get motivated. I put my iPad in front of me or I go and I stand in front of a canvas that I'm working on. And that's motivation enough. And then sometimes hubby says, you gonna paint today? Because he pays attention too. And so he notices when I haven't created in a while or just done something.
That's good.
And when business is getting a little too overwhelming, and so he'll say, you gonna paint today? And that little thing is like, okay, I get it. So different forms of motivation. And other times I look at what others are doing online and looking at what they're creating. I want to do a better job of going to different galleries. I used to do that a lot. I want to get back to doing that because that motivates artists as well. When you see some of the dope work that's out there, and you realize who's painting it and that it's actually in a gallery, that's motivation in itself.
It sure is.
And then again, seeing what other folks are doing online, so making sure that I stay up to date of the different people that are creating too. That's motivation. So sometimes it's just it's the small things, and the other times it's more forceful. Like get to it. It's time.
Okay, it's okay though. I love it. Now you mentioned that you created magic in every season of life. Oh, I love this part. Now, and you said this season is no different. Love that. I love that. Love that. Now, so with that being said, what is your favorite artwork? I know it's gonna be hard.
That is hard.
It's beautiful.
In this season, my favorite artwork are the women's empowerment pieces that I've created, hands down.
Like what you said.
They're new. It's a different medium. They're fun. People love them, and I love them. And it's something that I didn't know I could create. So I think that's why it's really my favorite. But then prior seasons, my favorite's always going to be my first Sunkissed Soul. The orange background, blue black skin, gold lips, just afro hair. And it was a true testament to what it means to be melanated. Your hair is growing to the sun, it grows out, and your skin is beautiful no matter how dark it is. And so that is always going to be my favorite piece. And then, of course, there's a bunch of others. Okay, one more. Okay. Other favorite piece I created for my birthday, I think last year, called Embers of Divinity. It's a pastel piece similar to what I created here. It's much bigger, but the entire piece outside of the background was created using my fingers. And I created it a span of 3 days before my birthday and then showcased it at my birthday party / solo exhibit at a local wine shop in Fort Mill. So that was really fun. And so a bunch of family and friends and friends of other friends came out to support and just view the art and also celebrate my birthday. So that's also my favorite piece as
well. I love that. You have a video of that.
I do.
I bet you that moment was something.
Oh yeah, I definitely have a video. I have a time lapse video that I share on my social media. Yeah, and I have video from the event as well. That piece was in the front. Yeah.
Okay. So how far in advance should one give you for commission work?
So the way that commissions work for me is someone would usually schedule a consultation call, which is maybe 15 to 30 minutes, where I just kind of, dive into what my process is, what the timeline is, potential pricing based on the size, the mediums that are offered that I work with. And then it's almost like a get to know, let's fill each other out. And then, at the end of that call, it's hey, think about what it is that you truly want, your theme, your colors. And then when you're ready, go back into my Calendly and schedule the hour appointment. And so once someone's ready, they'll go in, they'll schedule an hour appointment. And between that hour, which sometimes runs over, most times we're discussing your idea, your colors, we're getting excited about it, the size, the pricing. And the timeline for creating is usually 6 to 8 weeks, depending on what I may have going on. Sometimes it could be up to 12 weeks. And that's from the time that we end that call to the time that it's completed. And once it's completed, that's pretty much it. So it can be anywhere from 4 to 5 months, 4 to 6 months, depending on when we schedule the calls. But the timeline for creating is 6 to 8 or 6 to 12 weeks.
Now for the calendar, so because you do it yearly, right?
Yes.
So what month do we need to place our order for wanting the calendar?
So I usually start selling the calendar. So this is the second year that I'm doing the calendar.
Taking pre-orders.
Yeah, so I start taking pre-orders. Well, actually, you can start purchasing an actual calendar in September of the year before the new year. So these were on sale starting in September, and I'll keep selling them. Probably around April, they'll go down to a discounted price just because we're almost halfway through the year. But yeah, usually around September, you can start to order a calendar.
All right, you guys, go ahead and notes here. Now, so in your art pieces, are they just strictly in your shop, or do you have them in other shops being featured?
Right now, they're in my shop, but anytime there is an opportunity to collaborate and share some of my art, such as, like I said, the wine shop last year, because we frequented that wine shop and we would talk to the owner, she thought she actually brings in artists to put their stuff up so they have somewhere to display it. So that's the other opportunity that I've had in the past, to share my art somewhere other than my shop or just at home. So I'm definitely open to opportunities to share my art other places, even commission them to certain places for a certain amount of time, just for display or even for purchase. So I'm in the year of collaboration and partnership, and just kind of stepping out there and sharing more of who I am and being more present in different businesses. There's a lot of businesses that even when I go in, I'm like, you could use a piece right there. And I have something perfect, or I can create something for the business. So yeah, if you don't do it, who will?
Who's gonna? Okay, I know. You said it best. Okay. Now tell us, do you plan on teaching any classes?
So funny enough, I used to do paint and sips, but that was in 2018. And then 2019 rolled around. I did another one. And then obviously the pandemic and COVID hit, things slowed down. I haven't gotten back into it. I've thought about doing paint kits where I don't physically have to be there, but you can still, you can get a custom image or you can do one of my paintings. I'm not closed to it. I would love to teach. I think I would love to teach the youth though. No, I love the adults too. I love to do classes then as well. But I also think that I'm in that impact era for the youth as well. And so I think that's on the horizon. I just don't know at what capacity. Like I said, maybe through YouTube or in person. I think YouTube is a great way to start because you don't have to physically be in front and you can have a wider reach. But I think over time, depending on how things go from a mobile perspective, because we love to travel, maybe that looks like wherever we're going, I set up a way to teach a class in whatever state or country we're in, and that's another way to expand. So it's on the horizon, I think, but it's not top of mind just yet.
So tell us what are you currently working on right now?
So I'm currently working on the new women's affirmation coloring book. So it'll be a volume 2. I didn't have any copies. I was going to try to bring one. I didn't have any copies. The old one is still available on the website. It's the same size as the children's coloring book, 8.5 by 11. This one is going to be a mini coloring book. So it's one that you can carry around in your pocketbook. We love the ability to get up and go. So it's the size of a journal. It will have some journal prompts in it, coloring in it, affirmations, and some other special goodies that you can scan a code and obtain for free. So it's an engaging coloring book. But the first one was a hit. People loved it. And then I figured, I have these new illustrations that I've done. Maybe I should turn them into a coloring book. So I'm really excited to put that out. So that's what I'm solely focused on right now outside of commission pieces that I'm working on.
Yeah. Now, so what is the most important thing that you want the viewers, to take away from your art?
to love yourself, to follow your dreams on whatever timeline is for you. Nothing happens overnight, but as long as you start, I have had to grow out of the perfection phase. I think that comes from corporate and doing things right, but also, again, being a Black woman and feeling like I have to be and do things 10 times better. But mostly to just start, just do. If you have an idea, execute on it, fix it later. One of the things that I saw a quote or a post or something of that matter recently that was just a gentle reminder that said, for every thought or idea you think of, think about how many billions of people are on this earth. And there's at least one other person that's thought of it. And if you don't execute it, they probably will. That doesn't mean that God won't give you another idea. Yeah. It just means that you might have missed the timeline for that one. And so I'm in a phase, again, the same era as other eras where it's, if I think of something, start executing on it, get some feedback from, whoever's in my circle, and then just put it out there. Whether it's done, whether it's perfect, fix it later, because then at least the idea is there. You put it out into the world. You've started to manifest what it can become. So with that being said, I think that's to sum all that up is just to follow your passion, follow your heart in any given moment. And I think that a lot of things will come to fruition for you.
Have you ever thought about being a speaker?
I thought about it. I created this piece, Bold and Beautiful. I'm still working on the bold, being a speaker part. I think I have a lot to say and share. I don't know, when it comes to the public speaking thing, I get a little,
so. Fire.
We'll see.
Fire now.
We'll see.
That's good though. I love that.
Thank you.
Don't sit it to the side.
Well, this is motivation. This is really fun, and even when you reached out, I was a little nervous. I was like, oh no, if I want to be on a podcast, I may trip over my words, I may mess up. But again, it speaks to that. Forget about perfection.
That's right.
Do it anyway.
Just do it.
Just try it.
Like Nike.
The worst that can happen is it doesn't work out or it's not for you. But the best that can happen is that it is and it works out and you influence other people.
Now, so tell people again, how can they purchase your art?
Yeah, sure. So you can purchase my art and products in various ways. My website, www.artofjaz.com, ARTOFJAZ.com. You can get that link via any of my social media networks, which are all at jmcfadden_art. So JMCFADDEN_art on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. I just kept it the same on everything. Yeah. You can also find me on Etsy. Just look up Art of Jaz. I have an Etsy shop as well. You may find some of my stuff on Pinterest. I am a verified merchant on Pinterest as well. So I've kind of got my stuff everywhere. But as long as you follow me, you'll be able to click a link to get to my website. And then, of course, if you're local to Charlotte or the Rock Hill or Fort Mill area, visit Southern Lion, which is in Pineville, Matthews. And it's booth 531. And visit it anyway because there are a bunch of really cool merchants in there that are selling candles, handmade woodwork, clothing, you name it. And they're all local businesses. So,
yeah. I'm excited for you, man.
Thank you.
Now, I do want to ask you this here.
Sure.
So, as a business owner, tell us some vital things that you've learned along your journey.
I have learned to plan as best as I can, to schedule as much as I can, even when I think I just want to kind of go with the flow. Yeah. I've had times where not having a schedule has been a hindrance. And planning ahead again, not planning ahead has been a hindrance, thinking, oh, I got it, I can just do it. Another thing that I've learned and I'm still learning is to continue to network. You do not know everything, and there's always someone who can teach you something new, who can help you with something, or who can connect you with someone that you wouldn't otherwise be connected with. Find a mentor, get a cohort or a circle of whether it's women or other small business owners or large business owners. And then again, just try things, but also learn your business processes yourself. Your finance process, your operations process, learn it all. I haven't hired anyone yet, but I look forward to the day when I can hire someone to do those things. But I also think it's important to know how to do them so that when I'm telling someone else how I do my process, they're only improving it as opposed to they're doing something I have no idea what's going on. So those are the few, I guess, tidbits that I've learned in business so far. And just to stay connected, step out your comfort zone, and have as much fun with it as you can. Business can be a headache for sure. So, especially small business. And look for funding early if you can. Look for funding early. Yes.
Great advice,
Yeah,
man.
of course.
Great advice, man. Well, we're excited, and I didn't get to congratulate you on your being engaged.
Thank you.
You know, that's huge too.
Thank you.
God, and you know, anytime you guys want to switch your weekends where we do the traveling and y'all, you know, just letting you shine.
I got you.
Yeah, we'll give you a heads up.
Absolutely.
Jazmine, well, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show. You know, it's been long awaited because
yes.
scheduling and you've been busy, we've been busy,
yes.
and I'm so glad the Lord worked it out today in regards to that crazy weather.
Yeah, when the sun came out, I was like, yes.
I said, look at God, you know. But we know that your business is going to continue to expand, bloom, you know, and be grand.
I like that. Be grand. I'm gonna borrow that.
Yeah. Okay. All right, family. You already know. Local, not local. Famous, family. Y'all be blessed.